Back over a new video. And a video by Flight Mike says the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese keeps getting worse. I know they have a rivalry, but I don't know too much about it. So I wonder what this means or is about. Dang.
Why do I think it?
Oh no, I like Angel Reese better because she's on a Chicago Sky, and I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, so I'm gonna be a Chicago Sky fan.
Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. It could be the fact that Aaliyah Boston had to save Angel Reese from ending her career.
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark just had their biggest incident to date. Years and years of animosity have built up to this one moment that shows the world that they hate each other. Or is that actually what happened?
What you mean?
It might be a little bit more one-sided than first anticipated, but whose fault is this? Did Caitlin Clark do anything wrong to begin with? Or is she just an incredible gaslighter? Is Angel Reese entirely to blame here?
Ooh.
More importantly, how did these two get to this point? And what's about to happen next? And how's it going to alter these two's career? Before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications for the latest in basketball news. And now that we got all of that out of the way, cue the intro.
Okay.
Officially here, and these are easily the best lines to make some easy money on Prize Picks.
Oh my god, Brian!
My Instagram at the Flight Mike to get my picks, and thank you Prize Picks for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? It's been a few months since we've last covered anything to do with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, so let's bring you guys up to speed. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have been the most popular rivalry in the WNBA since the pair came into the league, but the rivalry actually began way back in college.
Really?
These two are single-handedly responsible for injecting life and enthusiasm in women's basketball.
True.
Very reasonable argument that this is easily the most compelling storyline and rivalry in all of basketball. If you guys remember, in January I made a video about how the NBA has a huge problem, and one of the biggest problems they have is the fact that the NBA doesn't have a rivalry that is captivating the fans right now.
True.
A crazy rivalry like Kobe versus Shaq or Kevin Durant versus Russell Westbrook. And as a result of that, fans are really locking in on the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese rivalry. In case you weren't following women's college basketball a few years ago, first of all, I don't necessarily blame you because I just started getting into it as a result of this rivalry. But Caitlin Clark at Iowa was must-watch television. I mean, courtside tickets to watch her play eclipsed tens of thousands of dollars.
What?
Which is insane.
Bro, those are expensive. Those are like WWE expensive.
Take into account that this is college women's basketball, but the first incident between the two happened back in 2023 when Clark's Iowa Hawkeyes faced off against Angel Reese's LSU Tigers in the national championship game. Clark was obviously the talk of the game as she led all college players in scoring and was breaking records basically each and every game. But I guess Angel Reese didn't like the fact that she wasn't getting as much attention because her team was perceived to be the better overall team, yet everyone was consistently talking about Caitlin Clark. And you really saw this because during LSU's blowout win over Iowa, she stared at Caitlin Clark and pointed to her ring finger. And I'm not talking once or twice for a few seconds either. I mean, Reese was literally doing it for around 30 seconds.
Nah, she did the John Cena "you can't see me" is crazy work. That's nasty.
And made the entire situation so interesting. We don't typically see this level of trash talk in the NBA anymore because, well, the NBA referees love to ruin everything.
True.
John Cena on Caitlin Clark, which some fans thought was cringy, but in my personal opinion, I'm just happy to see some emotion in a basketball game.
True.
Some fans also thought this was extremely weird, and after the game, in order to rationalize what she did, Reese said this.
I don't take disrespect lightly, and she disrespected Alexis and my girls. South Carolina, they still my SEC girls too. But y'all not gonna disrespect them either. So I wanted to pick her pocket, but I had a moment at the end of the game, and I was in my bag. I was in my moment. Yeah.
Now, first of all, if you know anything about Caitlin Clark, she is the ultimate respectful competitor. And at least so far, it doesn't seem like she was disrespecting anybody, unless if she's doing something very subtle to get underneath Angel Reese's skin. Otherwise, Angel Reese just comes off as jealous here. Second off, what do you mean South Carolina are your SEC girls? What does this even mean? They're your rivals. You play for LSU. They are your SEC rival. How are you going to sympathize sympathize with them. As you guys know, I have an NFL channel called Microphone. I'm unfortunately a Dallas Cowboy fan, and something that really pisses me off about being a Dallas Cowboy fan is how our best player on the team, Micah Parsons, is consistently showing love to our division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, if you're a football fan, do you remember when Micah Parsons told the Eagles to go win a Super Bowl for the division? And then finally, what do you mean you were in your bag? You scored 15 points on 12 shot attempts. 3 people on your team outscored you. Caitlin Clark nearly had 10 less points than your field goal percentage, which was almost 40%.
She hit 30?
What do you mean?
She hit 30? Oh, yeah, this is definitely out of jealousy.
Now, keep in mind, this is where the rivalry started, and it gets so much more awesome from here. Once drafted into the WNBA, things started to heat up immediately. In one of the first ever meetings between the two stars, Kennedy Carter tried to hip check Caitlin Clark, resulting in her falling down. Meanwhile, on the bench, guess who's yelling and screaming at Clark?
Angel Reese,
of course. But at the same time, she's hyping up her teammate for the unnecessary foul on Caitlin Clark during a 4-point game, which is kind of insane because I understand it's good to have an enforcer on the team, but in a 4-point game, this could be very, very costly. The next time these two faced off against each other a few weeks later, things got
nasty.
Even more heated. During the game, Angel Reese literally smacks Caitlin Clark in the head as she's going for a layup. Keep in mind, Reese wasn't even the closest defender.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, that was for sure intentional.
And her arm isn't even near the ball at the time of the incident. But if you ask Angel Reese,
bro, look, you can't say that you were blocking the ball. You were clearly trying to hit her in her face.
Flagrant foul here.
While
hitting
the ball.
Playing really hard.
If you want to
bro. Okay.
I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle, but just being able to...
Now, this explains why Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. I can understand what she did in college. After all, she just beat what might be the greatest female college basketball player of all time in the national championship. So I understand if she gets a little wild. But watching back that play where she literally clotheslines Caitlin Clark in the throat and saying it was a bad call is insane to me.
She pulled
After this happened, Angel Reese would become the odds-on favorite to win Rookie of the Year before Caitlin Clark caught fire towards the end of the season to win the award. But somehow this season just began, and things got even more crazy. During the WNBA season opener, Caitlin Clark
yo, bro, she definitely was trying to get payback, bro.
Resulting in Reese getting up and chasing down Caitlin Clark, only to be stopped by Aaliyah Boston. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This was a bad foul by Caitlin Clark, and Angel Reese deserves to be frustrated. This seems like a valid opinion until you see what happened before that play. I mean, check this out. Instead of crashing the glass and getting the rebound the good old-fashioned way,
she pushed.
Literally just pushes.
Yeah, I see that right there. Yeah.
In order to get the free board. So tell me why later on we see Angel Reese crashing out on the sideline, calling Caitlin Clark expletives. I just don't understand the reaction here. You played dirty. Caitlin Clark fouled you back accordingly, and you're mad about it. I don't get it. Now,
that's payback.
After the game, Angel Reese acknowledged this was the right call.
Basketball player, got it right.
But maybe more importantly than Reese,
bro, someone definitely told her to say that, bro. She definitely didn't want to say that.
Taking the blame, this moment just revealed Angel Reese's true feelings about Caitlin Clark. Now, before this play on opening night, I honestly thought that Reese didn't hate Caitlin Clark. I honestly believe that they just had some bad moments during some bad times. And maybe she played into it a little bit, but it was just to grow the game. But now after what just happened combined with the comments she made over the offseason, it's very clear that there's some animosity between these two.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game. I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role. And I'll continue to take that on. And I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that.
It doesn't take a genius to realize that Angel Reese is fairly jealous of Caitlin Clark's spotlight.
Yeah.
To an extent, I see her point. I know we like to clown on Angel Reese for not being able to make a layup and farming rebounds off of her own missed shots. But in college, she wasn't a bad player. She led the SEC in boards 2 seasons in a row, led the SEC in scoring in 2023, is a 3-time All-American, and is a national champion.
Yeah, honestly, this seems that bad.
For one of the funniest podcast clips that I've ever seen.
Has anybody ever shot their shot at you on your show?
On the show?
Not off the show.
Well, what's the question? On the show?
Both.
Has anyone ever shot their shot? Meaning what?
You didn't share your craziest dating experience.
Everything's crazy these days, isn't it?
Have you ever had a crush on anybody that you interviewed?
Never.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I like all my guests. I wouldn't have them on the show if I didn't like them.
Oh, you're a trick.
For sure.
No, like crazy money. Thousands of dollars.
I wouldn't say so.
Multiple women.
Well, multiple women, yes. I do spend money on multiple women. Yesterday, me, my mother, my sister.
Do you spend money on women that are
So
not
we
your
went to
family
this
members?
beautiful Spanish.
So in Angel Reese's eyes,
Bro,
why she
what?
gets less attention than the girl that she beat for the national championship? Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than that. For example, Caitlin Clark is the all-time leader in points for not just women, but men's players as well.
What?
It makes sense that she gets more attention, but still in a weird, non.
Bro, how many did she score? How many
Hey,
she
I
has?
see where Angel Reese is coming from. But just because I see where she's coming from doesn't mean I sympathize with her. You can't self-describe yourself as the bad guy, then sit and cry when you're correctly assessed a foul or are fouled yourself. Even when Reese acknowledged that the refs got the play right during her most recent altercation with Clark, the answer felt so forced and obviously rehearsed. Clearly, by the way she reacted after the play, she had an issue with what Caitlin Clark did. Honestly, I think RG3 sums it up perfectly here.
So why do I think Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? It could be the fact that Aaliyah Boston had to save Angel Reese from ending her career.
Obviously, RG3 is being hyperbolic.
Dang.
Reese's career wouldn't have been over if she hit Clark, but she would have probably gotten a large suspension.
Probably.
Honestly, I think Reese has a lot to learn specifically on what Aaliyah Boston did. Angel Reese laughed and yelled at Caitlin Clark when her teammate hard fouled her for no reason. In comparison, Aaliyah Boston's teammate got fouled by Angel Reese, but instead she proceeded to hold her back for making a terrible decision. I think this play, combined with Reese's comments in the past and her reaction, sums up the entire story. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark because she believes she's better than her and deserves to be the star of the WNBA.
Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, it makes sense. You know, you think you're better than someone when you're really not. Makes total sense.
Whether you hate Caitlin Clark and love Angel Reese or love Caitlin Clark and hate Reese, this is a fact of the matter. So what's next? Well, personally, I think this is great for the growth of the WNBA and the sport as a whole, as long as Caitlin Clark stays healthy. But I'm going to predict that on June 7th, the next meeting between the Indiana
Chicago's
Fever
winning.
and the Chicago Sky, something will happen. I don't know if Reese will be on the bench taunting Clark, if Reese is involved in the play directly, or if something happens in an interview. All I know for a fact is that something will happen. On Caitlin Clark's side of this whole thing, it's pretty clear she doesn't really care. The situation can be summed up as Angel Reese trying her best to hate on Caitlin Clark, while Clark just ignores her and breaks records while also being hated by her fellow players. Keep in mind, these are the same players who literally kept her off the Olympic team because they didn't like the media attention with her. I think it's obvious that Clark has more important things than Angel Reese on her mind, but this is without a doubt one of the most entertaining rivalries in basketball. And obviously, this is going to continue on June 7th. So let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think's winning this rivalry so far? And aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Well, basically, who I think who's winning this beef right now, just by this video I've collected, I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark's winning. She's basically like ignoring Angel Reese because she doesn't want to get involved. And probably because she probably doesn't care. She just wants to play some basketball. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Comment below. Anyway, subscribe. Bye.